Hello everyone and welcome back. My name's dustinkreis and today we're going to do a pickups video. Not a lot of video game stuff here. Not a lot of new releases coming out that I'm really interested in, and just haven't really been feeling the itch to do a lot of game hunting here lately. Going to be going to Columbus this weekend and probably doing some game hunting, so maybe there'll be some stuff there, but I have a feeling I'm going to be doing a special video on that stuff for a particular reason. More details to follow. But anyway, yeah, really only two video game related items, and everything else is, of course, just the random smattering of stuff that I tend to pick up. But yeah, just figured I'd go ahead and make this video so I can get this stuff on the shelf and sort of not in a pile anymore. Anyway, the only game in this video is going to be this game right here, and that's Etrian Odyssey Untold, Millennium Girl for the 3DS. And I have been playing this game, and I am playing it right now. It's just the 3DS is closed for a second, and I am thoroughly addicted to this. This is like Etrian Odyssey perfected, because it's everything that you love about the series, and then you just add this really kind of interesting story to it. And really just super addicted to this game. And I think TG Apalea said he spent over like 100 hours playing this, so I'm not sure where exactly I'm at. I'm exploring the third stratum, but so much bang for your buck with this game. I highly recommend it. If you're on the fence about getting it, just go out and buy it right now. If you love first-person dungeon crawlers, you'll love this game. And you can also play, if you don't really care about the storyline aspect of it, you can play it in the classic mode. But this is a remake of the first Etrian Odyssey, so if you already played the first Etrian Odyssey, I would still say get it, because you want to support Atlas and make sure they know that we want these games over here. But I guess if you've played the first game, you can kind of skip it, unless you really want to get that brand new story mode. But really a great game. And then the only other video game related item I picked up was this right here, which is a wired 360 controller. And I got this for super cheap at GameStop because they mistagged it. And instead of it being a Microsoft product, they tagged it as a GameStop controller. So I got it for like $17 used, instead of like the $30 that they're supposed to be charging for it. But I'm getting ready to build a gaming PC here soon, and I wanted a wired 360 controller because the wireless ones, you figure you'd be able to plug and play those with the cord, but they won't plug and play for some reason. But this one will. So got this, tested it out. It has kind of a smoky smell to it, and you get that when you buy used things. But I'm hoping that eventually, that as it sits here in my apartment, it'll just kind of air out a bit. And I did do a thorough cleaning job on it and got a lot of gunk out of it, but it's not even really a smoke smell. It's kind of like a grease smell. So I'm assuming that whoever had this controller probably worked at a kitchen somewhere or something, and their greasy hands didn't wash it before they used their controller. So I'm periodically just wiping it down with stuff to kind of get that smell out. But if you have any tips on getting that gross smell out of controllers, let me know, because I'd like to get that out of there, just because I'm kind of gross about that. But anyway, next we move on to the DVDs in the movies. And as you know, you probably know a lot of what this is going to be if you've been watching these videos for a while. But let's go ahead and start with the Blu-rays, and then we'll go into the DVDs. Picked up two sort of pseudo new releases and was pretty impressed with both of them, to be honest with you. I picked up Oblivion, and this is by the same director that did Tron Legacy. And I have to say, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a beautiful film, especially since they shot in Iceland, and just the sort of the strangeness of the terrain really added a lot to sort of the sci-fi aspect of the movie. However, I felt that this was a bit non-original. It's just unoriginal in some places, especially if you've seen the movie Moon. It really kind of borrows heavily from that, and I think Moon had a better mystery to it. I kind of figured this out before the movie got there, So, I mean, but other than that, this is still a really awesome sort of action movie. It's nice to see sci-fi movies kind of be like this again. Instead of, I don't know, it seems like there's two models of sci-fi movies. There's sort of hopeful sci-fi movies, which just kind of is a little bit, and then there's like the alien sci-fi movies, where it's like, you know, a destroyed future, and I don't know, there's still a destroyed future in this, but it does seem to be a little bit more hopeful, especially with the ending, and I really enjoyed Oblivion, and I definitely think people should check it out. Picked up a couple movies by this director here, Rian Johnson. And I love Rian Johnson because of the movie Brick. It's one of my favorite movies, and whenever somebody says, you know, recommend me a kind of a movie I've never seen before, I always recommend Brick, because it just blew my mind when I saw it the first time. So I finally picked up Looper, and I have to say, this is an amazing film. I love this hands down. Everything about it was awesome. The only thing I don't like about it is it kind of follows that the movie time travel thing, where the present of the movie is like the fulcrum for the entire universe. When you start getting the time travel and you start thinking about it, it really gets very wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. But the treating of the present as the fulcrum for essentially the entire universe is kind of a weird thing, but there's no really good way of getting around it without making it really convoluted. So in terms of movie time travel, for me, this is probably one of the best time travel movies, other than like 12 Monkeys, which had Bruce Willis in it also. But Joseph Gordon-Levitt, you know, when I watched Third Rock from the Sun way back in the day, never did I think that that guy is going to be one of the best actors of this generation, and to see him sort of do a young Bruce Willis in this movie is just amazing. Really, like, if he's in a movie, I'm pretty much going to watch it because he's one of my favorite actors working today. But yeah, Rian Johnson, love him. And I remember when this movie came out, and I didn't realize it was by him. And I guess I just never really looked into it. Because, you know, you just kind of forget things. Like, you know, I wonder what Rian Johnson's up to after, you know, Brick, a few years after Brick. And I just never looked into it. But The Brothers Bloom, written and directed by Rian Johnson. And this is actually, I don't know how to describe this movie. It's kind of a con man caper movie, but it's also kind of a romantic comedy. It's got some flourishes of, like, French New Wave in it. And it really reminds me a lot of, like, a Wes Anderson film. So between Brick, this, and Looper, I mean, Rian Johnson has really shown a lot of range in 3 films, because this is hilarious. And I can't say her name. Let me see. Rinko Kikuchi, the girl that plays Bang Bang in this. She, it's kind of a thankless role because it's silent throughout the entire film. She only has like 3 spoken words in the entire film, not including a karaoke scene. But she is fucking hilarious in this, and I don't know. I looked at her filmography, and she was in Babel. That's where she got like a lot of her fame from. But I really wish she was still kind of around doing. I guess she's doing maybe a lot of Japanese films that I just don't see. But I really, you know, like to see her doing more stuff because she is just hilarious in this movie, and it really did make me laugh out loud a lot. And I love pretty much everybody that's in this. Mark Ruffalo, Adrian Brody, and Rachel Weisz, and then, of course, Rinko, and then Maximilian Schnell. Did I say Schnell? Schell. Maximilian Schell. He played the bad guy in The Black Hole, that old 70s Disney sci-fi movie. It was made like 79. And to see him still around and kicking was kind of cool as well. So definitely check out The Brothers Bloom if you haven't checked that out. It's really a fun movie. Here recently, they just leaked. I don't know if it was an official leak, because now Warner Brothers is pulling it all back. But there was a leaked sort of proof of concept teaser for the new Godzilla film. And it shows this destroyed city, and it has the J. Oppenheimer quotes of, you know, from, you know, Vishnu, I am become death. Destroyer of Worlds. And it's just a chilling trailer. And hopefully Warner Brothers gets off their ass and just releases the damn thing, because everyone's seen it, and if you haven't, you're missing out. But it really made me excited for, like, a big monster movie again, and especially Godzilla. And so I went out and picked up the DVD, because this was dirt cheap at my FYE. I think I paid like $5 for this, of Gojira, which is the original Japanese version, which I wasn't aware that it was only released here in America in 2004, officially. Like, it's 50 years has not been released in America. And then it also has Godzilla, King of the Monsters, which is what I saw way back in the day when I was a little kid. It was like on Turner Classic Movies or something, and it kind of butchers the original film, because the original film of Godzilla is very somber and very... It's almost like a cathartic thing for these Japanese filmmakers to do, because this movie was made 9 years after the bomb dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and to make a movie like this and have it be sort of an allegorical film for the bombings, it's really kind of a chilling movie. And I think in a lot of ways we lose sight of what Godzilla really originally was, because eventually it's in the 70s, it's just a guy in a rubber suit fighting another monster, but the original film is fucking brilliant. And so immediately after buying this, I saw that there was a Criterion Blu-ray out there, so I will probably be doing a double dip for that, because Criterion always... I mean, the film transfer on this is pretty good, but there's still a lot of scratches and noise, and usually the Criterion transfers are a lot cleaner, and they have a lot more bonus features on it, because, I don't know, I watched this film, and yes, the monster looks a bit hokey. Godzilla looks a little bit hokey. You can clearly tell that some of the town scenes are just cardboard towns, but I don't know, man. Just brilliant. And the thing about old black and white movies like this is they work on a level that a lot of modern films, just because of the studio system and things like that, they just don't ever approach that level of just, brilliance. So if you haven't watched the original Godzilla, Japanese original, definitely check it out. And then, yeah, to round out the DVDs here, just more Mystery Science Theater 3000s. I got... FYE was actually running a 50% off deal on these box sets, so I got each of these for $30, and that's better than Amazon can do with shipping. So, brand spanking new. Go through the movies real quick. This is volume... Let me see. Volume 14 has Mad Monster, Manhunt in Space, Soul Taker, and Final Justice. Volume 15 has the Robots versus Aztec Mummy, The Girls in Lover Lane, Zombie Nightmare, and Racket Girls, which Racket Girls is really hilarious, just from a film standpoint, because it's like, it's got these women wrestlers, but it's also their manager is like a mob guy, and like the two things with the women wrestlers and the mob thing, they never interact. It's like two separate movies just mashed together. It's incredibly weird. And then volume 17 has Slime People, Rocket Attack USA, Village of the Giants, and The Deadly Mantis. And then I also picked up some of the old Rhino single discs, because these are not released on any other box set. I picked up Iga, which is a Jewel episode, and this one has probably one of the most remembered lines from Mystery Science Theater 3000, where one character, no one on the screen is talking, but all of a sudden over the audio you hear, "Watch out for snakes!" And it's supposed to be the father figure, or the old man figure, saying it, but his mouth doesn't move at all. So, of course, the guys picked up on that, and then anytime that there's a scene in a movie where there's just like a desolate, nature shot or something, they're always, "Watch out for snakes," it's, I guess. And then this one, I picked this up, I bought this, and this is going to be a little mini rant on Amazon. The seller described this as like new. And this is what I got. And this guy, I didn't want to go through the entire hassle of sending the damn thing back and get my money back, because I didn't spend that much on this. And the disc is in pristine condition. But I gave him a bad review, because this is not like new. Okay. Here's the cover, and as you can see, you can probably see, let me hold up Iga as a comparison. a lot of sun-faded damage, okay? Especially on the spine there. You can completely see how faded out Hellcats is. And then to make matters worse, not only is it sun damaged, but it's also water damaged and has mold in it. So I don't know how that can be considered like new. And this was Go Hastings, who is kind of a reputable seller on Amazon. A lot of people buy things from Go Hastings. And they got a terrible review because this is nowhere near like new. But the disc, I have to admit, the disc is in perfect condition. No scratches, no nothing. But, I don't know, it just... I guess if I can find another copy of it cheap, I might replace it. Or if I can just... I tried looking for just the label online to print it out and just put another label in there. And then keep the old nasty label just for, completion's sake. But... can't find a good resource online to get a good label, but that just kind of reinstates, you got to really be careful with what you buy online because people will just say whatever it is, and Amazon doesn't show you pictures. So anyway, let's move on to the books and get this video done with. Picked up this after watching the bonus features on Great Gatsby because I guess I'd never realized this existed. But this is Trimalchio by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and this is an early draft of The Great Gatsby. And I haven't read it yet, but supposedly there's a lot of differences in the books, and they use this a lot in the making of the film to sort of understand the character motivations a lot better, because Fitzgerald really edited that book down to just its essentials, and he left kind of some of the characters intentionally vague in their motivations. So apparently this has a lot more background on the characters and sort of their motivations and why they act the way they do. So it's going to be a very interesting read for me because I am a huge Gatsby fan. And then finally, something, we'll end it on something fun. Recently watched the movie Dredd and absolutely loved it. And I'm even a fan of the old movie Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone. It has kind of a 90s, kitschy feel to it that I kind of enjoy. So I decided to go out and look up the old comics, and I guess I never realized how, serialized the Dredd comics were. I don't know how comics work over in England, especially with 2000 AD, but it's essentially kind of like the Phantom over here in the States, in that it's, I don't know if it's a monthly or a weekly or what, but each Dredd story is only 5 pages long, and it's not like a traditional comic book. I know it's part of a much larger magazine, but I don't know how that magazine technically works. But anyway, I picked up the Complete Case Files #1 and just started reading this and fell in love. I love Judge Dredd. It's so fun, and the weird thing is, it's so violent and sort of fascist, but at the same time there's such an innocence to it. And I think it's an innocence because of the time it was made and not so much an intentional thing, but it's just it feels very much like old Batman comics where he's like, oh, we have to stop the Joker, I need to fly, and he's dictating what he's doing as he's doing it. And, these were made in the 70s, so it kind of has that kitschy feel to it. But at the same time, I don't know, it's just, there's a complete world built here from the ground up. And these are actually really cheap on Amazon. I think each one's $13 new right now. So I went ahead and picked up the Complete Case Files 2 and the Complete Case Files 3, just while that sale was still going on. So I have tons of them to read. And really looking forward to getting more and more into Judge Dredd. Really, sorry, I was I was getting kind of confused because it looks like they're not in chronological order, because the Case Files #2 has progs 61 through 115, and Case Files #3 has also 61 through 115. I know this one has the Cursed Earth epic in it, so I wonder if they just shifted the order around a little bit to keep, I don't know. So that'd be interesting to read, because they do kind of run in sequential order sometimes, especially the earlier ones are very you know, adventure of the week type things. But every now and then, like there was the Robot Wars in the first book, which was kind of a sequential storyline. Now it's kind of back into, you know, the criminal of the week type thing. But it's going to be interesting to read those and see how they actually did that. So maybe they're not in chronological order. Maybe they just kind of group them by stories. But anyway, that is it for this pickups video. It's gone on way too long. And with all the stuff that I have here, yeah. So, but anyway, that is it. A lot of stuff, especially for, I don't know how many weeks, you know, it's been since the last video. But contrary to popular belief, I am a fully functioning adult. I do pay all my bills, and I do put money away for my future. So it's called going out and getting a good job, getting an education and getting a good job, kids. Stay in school. But anyway, there's going to be a special event coming up this weekend. I don't want to talk too much about it because I kind of want it to be a surprise, but if you've paid attention to the podcast and other videos, you can probably suss out what's going to be happening. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully I do a lot of videos about it. But you know, you get into the event, and then you kind of forget to shoot video. So I guess we'll see what happens when it happens. But anyway, that is the end of this video. I gotta get back to Etrian Odyssey. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time.